voice stirred Gabriel's heart. He left his post at the entryway and stepped into the throne room. To his left was the desk on which sat the book of life. Ahead of him was the throne of Almighty God. Gabriel entered the circle of unceasing light. He folded his wings to cover his face and knelt before him.
Yes, my Lord.
You have served the kingdom well. You are a noble messenger. You have never flinched in duty. You have flagged in zeal.
Whatever you ask, I'll do 1,000 times over, my king.
Of that I have no doubt, dear messenger. But your greatest work lies ahead of you. Your next assignment is to carry the gift to earth. Behold. Though empty, this vial will soon contain my greatest gift. Place it around your neck.
And what treasures will you send to earth this time?
Gabriel's back stiffened at the irreverent tone, and his stomach turned at the sudden stench. Such foul odor could only come from one being. He drew his sword and turned to do battle with Lucifer, but the Father's hand on his shoulder stopped him.
Worry not, Gabriel. He will do no harm.
Gabriel stepped back and stared at God's enemy. He was completely covered. A black cassock hung over his skeletal frame, hiding his body and arms and hooding his face. The feet protruding beneath the robe were thrice-toed and clawed. The skin on his hands was that of a snake. Talons extended from his fingers. He pulled his cape further over his face as a shield against the light, but the brightness still pained him. Seeking relief, he turned toward Gabriel. Gabriel caught a glimpse of a skulless face beneath the cowl.
What are you staring at, Gabriel? Are you that glad to see me?
Gabriel had no words for this fallen angel. What he saw and what he remembered left him speechless. He remembered Satan before the rebellion, poised proudly at the vanguard of the force, wings wide, holding forth a radiant sword. He had inspired Gabriel to do the same. Who could refuse him? The sight of his velvet hair and coal black eyes had outstripped the beauty of any celestial being. Any being, of course, except the Creator. No one compared Lucifer to God except Lucifer. How he came to think he was worthy of the same worship as God, only God knows. All Gabriel knew was that he had not seen Satan since the rebellion, and what he saw now repulsed him. Gabriel searched for a hint of his former splendor, but saw none.
Your news must be urgent.
The time has come for the second gift.
The second gift, huh? I hope it works better than the first.
You're disappointed with the first?
Oh, quite the contrary. I've delighted in it. C-H-O-I-C-E. You gave Adam his choice, and what a choice he made. He chose me. Ever since the fruit was plucked from the tree in the garden, I've held your children captive. They fell fast, hard. They are mine. You have failed.
You speak so confidently.
Of course. I've thwarted everything you do. You soften hearts, I harden them. You teach truth, I shadow it. You offer joy, I steal it. The betrayal of Joseph by his brothers, I did that. Moses banished to the desert after killing the Egyptian, I did that. David watching Bathsheba bathe, that was me. You must admit, my work has been crafty.
Crafty? Perhaps. But effective? No. I know what you will do, even before you do it. I used the betrayal of Joseph to deliver my people from famine. Your banishment of Moses became his wilderness training. And yes, David did commit adultery with Bathsheba, but he repented of his sins, and thousands have become inspired by his example and found what he found, unending grace. Your deceptions have only served as platforms for my mercy. You are still Satan, when will you learn? Your feeble attempts to disturb my work only enable my work. Each act you have intended for evil, I have used for good. Feeling ill?
Show me, O King of Light, show me one person on the earth who always does right and obeys your will.
Dare you ask? You know there need be only one perfect one, only one sinless one, to die for all the others.
I know your plans, and you have failed. No Messiah will come from your people. There is no one who is sinless, not one. Not Moses, not Abraham, not Lot, not Rebekah, not Elijah.
Those are my children, you mock. You think you know much, fallen angel, but you know so little. Your mind dwells in the valley of self. Your eyes see no further than your own needs. Come, deceiver, read the name of the one who will storm your gates.
Emmanuel, God with us? No, not even you would do that. Not even you would go so far.
You've never believed me, Satan.
But Emmanuel, the plan is bizarre. You don't know what it's like on earth. You don't know how dark I've made it. It's putrid. It's evil.
It is mine, and I will reclaim what is mine. I will become flesh. I will feel what my creatures feel. I will see what they see.
But what of their sins?
I will bring mercy.
What about their death?
I will give life. I love my children. Love does not take away the beloved's freedom, but love takes away fear. And Emmanuel will leave behind a tribe of fearless children. They will not fear you or your hell.
They will too.
I will take away all sin. I will take away death. Without sin and without death, you have no power.
Why? Why would you do this?
Because I love them.
The two stood facing each other. Neither spoke. The extremes of the universe were before Gabriel. God robed in light, each thread glowing. Satan canopied in evil, the very fabric of his robe seeming to crawl. Peace contrasting panic, wisdom confronting foolishness. One able to rescue, the other was anxious to condemn. Gabriel reflected much on what happened next. Never in his wildest thoughts did he think his king would do what he did. Had God demanded Satan's departure, who would have questioned? Had God taken Satan's life, who would have grieved? Had he called Gabriel to attack, he would have been willing. But God did none of these. From the circle of light came an extended hand. From the throne came an honest invitation.
Will you surrender? Will you return to me?
Gabriel did not know the thoughts of Satan, but he believed for a fleeting second the evil heart softened. Satan cocked his head slightly, as if amazed that such an offer would be made, but then yanked itself erect.
Where will we battle?
On a hill called Calvary.
If you make it that far.
The father stood motionless for a moment, then turned back to the book. Opening the final chapter, he slowly reads words. No sentences, just words.
Jesus, nail, cross, tomb, life. This vial will contain the essence of myself, a seed to be placed in the womb of a young girl. Her name is Mary. She lives among the chosen people. The fruit of the seed is the Son of God, take it to her.
But how will I know her?
Don't worry, you will.
Gabriel could not comprehend God's plan, but his understanding was not essential. His obedience was. He lowered his head, and God draped the chain around his neck. Amazingly, the vial was no longer empty. It glowed with light.
Jesus, tell her to call my son Jesus.